Anthropic, the AI company behind Claude, is about to be valued at $1 trillion. That's bigger than the GDP of Saudi Arabia, bigger than the Walmart, JPMorgan, or Costco. For a company that didn't exist 5 years ago, as a data analyst, when I see numbers that big, I want to see the actual map. So I pulled it, and what I found surprised me. In the next 11 minutes, I am going to talk you through Anthropic real numbers, the 30 billion revenue run rate, the growth curve, the customer base, and show you the three data points that justify a trillion dollar valuation and the two that absolutely should worry you. By the end, you will know whether this is the next Nvidia or the next Cisco in 1999. Let's go. First, the actual numbers. Because most people talking about this story are quoting the valuation, the $1 trillion. That's not real. That's what investors are willing to pay. What's real is the revenue. Here is where Anthropic actually is. As of April 2026, their annualized revenue run rate hit $30 billion. And I will be honest, even that number is debated. Some rivals argue it's generous, but 30 billion is the figure Anthropic is putting forward. For the context, a year ago, Anthropic was at roughly $1 billion. By the end of 2025, 9 billion. Today, 30. That is the steepest revenue ramp that software industry has ever seen. To put that in perspective, Salesforce, the gold standard of enterprise SaaS, took roughly 2 decades to reach 30 billion in revenue. Anthropic got there in about 3 years. The second number, paying customers. Customers spending over $1 million a year with Anthropic doubled from 500 to 1000, and they did it in under 2 months. These are not hobbyists. These are Fortune 500, pharma, banks, law firms putting Claude into actual production workflows. So when you hear 1 trillion valuation, that's the headline. But the engine underneath is real revenue, real customers, and a growth rate that is, honestly, historically unprecedented. Okay, so does 1 trillion make sense given those numbers? Let's do the math. The simplest valuation metric for a software company is the revenue multiple. How many times annual revenue is the company growth? The 1 trillion divided by 30 billion in run rate revenue, that's about 33x multiple. Is that crazy? Depends on what you compare it to. Historically, public SaaS companies trade between 10 to 15 times revenue when they are growing fast. Premium names like Snowflake or CrowdStrike at their peaks hit 20 to 25. So 33x is steep, above almost anything the public market has ever paid, even for the hottest software names. Now compare it to Nvidia. Nvidia is worth around $5.4 trillion right now, the most valued company on earth on roughly 215 billion in revenue. That's about a 25x multiple. So Anthropic is being valued at a meaningfully higher multiple than Nvidia, 33 times versus 25. The one place Anthropic took reasonable is next to OpenAI. Similar valuation, but OpenAI now earns less revenue than Anthropic. So per dollar of revenue, OpenAI is actually the more expensive bot. OpenAI is actually the more expensive bet. So here is the honest read. At 33x, this is not cheap and it's not obviously safe. The math only works if the growth keeps going. Premium, leaning towards bubble territory. Here are the 3 data points that actually justify the $1 trillion number. 1. Growth velocity. Anthropic markets and 80x numbers. The cleaner way to see it, about 1 billion in revenue a year ago, 30 billion now, call it 30x in a single year. The closest comparison in tech history is Facebook in 2009, and even that was only 2.5x growth that year. And even if that growth slows halves, then halves again, year after year. Anthropic is still comfortably a $100 billion plus revenue company by the end of the decade. That alone justify a $500 billion valuation conservatively. 2. Enterprise stickiness. The customers spending over $1 million a year, those don't churn easily. Once a bank or a pharma company embedded Claude into workflow, the switching costs are massive. retraining staff, revalidating outputs, redoing compliance reviews. It's a 6 to 12 months project to switch AI vendors. That means revenue is durable, not just fast. Investors pay a premium for durability. 3. Total addressable market. Industry estimates put the industry estimates put the AI software market well over $1 trillion a year by early 2030s. Some run as high as 3 to 4 trillion. Even if Anthropic captures 10% of the market, they are a 130 billion revenue company. At a 15x multiple, that's 2 trillion. Today's valuation took conservative under that scenario. Now, the other side. Here are the two numbers that make me nervous as an analyst. 1. Gross margin. Anthropic has not disclosed them, but everyone in the industry knows what GPU compute cost. For every dollar Anthropic earns from an API call, somewhere between 40 to 70 cents goes to compute. NVIDIA chips, electricity, data center cost. Compare that to a traditional SaaS, Salesforce, Snowflake, they run at 70 to 80% gross margin. Anthropic is closer to 30 to 50%. That means when at a 30 billion run rate, the profit available is much smaller than it looks. You can't just stamp Salesforce style multiples on a business with semiconductor style margin. 2. Customer concentration. Of those thousands plus enterprise customers, how many are real enterprise versus other AI startup big Anthropic with VC money? This is one of the dirty secrets of the AI boom. A huge portion of API revenue is AI companies paying other AI companies. Cursor pays Anthropic, Anthropic pays NVIDIA, NVIDIA's revenue funds more AI startup. Who pays Anthropic? It's a circular flow. If VC funding tighten, which historically happen every 7 to 10 years, that a circular revenue collapse fast. Which brings me to the comparison I can't stop thinking about. In March 2000, Cisco, the company building the actual plumbing of the internet, was worth 555 billion. At the time, that made it the most valuable company in the world. By October 2022, Cisco was worth 100 billion, an 82% drop. The internet was not fake, Cisco was not fake, the companies buying their routers were not fake, the valuation were ahead of the cash flow. Anthropic right now is the same structural position. The product is real, the customer are real, the growth is real, but the 1 trillion assumes everything keeps going right. Margins improve, competition does not crush pricing, compute costs collapse, enterprise adoption deepens, all at once. Any one of those breaks, the valuation halves. So, bubble or bargain? My honest take, as someone who took at numbers for a living, probably both at different times. Right now, the math only holds if you believe the growth continues. 33 times revenue is a bet, not a bargain. The second growth slows, even to a still incredible 5x or 10x, that multiple collapse fast. And history says growth always slows eventually. If you are an investor, don't form in a $1 trillion. Wait for the next funding round and see if revenue keeps the pace. If you are a business owner, this is when AI tools get serious. Anthropic at this scale means Claude is not going anywhere. Build with it confidently. And if you are someone like me, a data analyst trying to make sense of all this hype, subscribe to the channel. I'm doing one of these every single week, pulling real numbers on the AI and finance stories everyone's talking about. If your business needs this kinds of analysis on something specific, market sizing, tool selection, investment thesis, I do consulting. Link in the description. Tomorrow, I am pulling apart whether the AI data center boom is the next bubble. Drop a comment. Do you think Anthropic is bubble or bargain? See you in the next one.